Welcome to the basic crash course of reading rhythm. So here we have a note and rest chart. On the far left column we have the names of each of the notes. Notes is the second column. That's how a whole note looks like. Next one down we have a half note. Half note looks like a whole note except it has a stem. And then we have the quarter note, which looks like the half note except it's filled in inside. Whenever we see a note, that means we are supposed to play for a certain amount of beats. And we'll get to the amount of beats here in just a second. Next, right next to notes, we have the rest column. That is how the rest looks like for the whole note. So instead of playing for whatever amount of beats for the whole note, we're resting for that many amount of beats. Same thing for the rest for the half note. That's how that looks like. Looks like the whole note rest except upside down. And then the quarter note rest. It's just a single squiggly line. Then we have the beats column. So a whole note is worth a total of 4 beats. A half note is worth a total of 2 beats. And a quarter note is worth a total of 1 beat. And the far right column, we have one measure of 4/4, for example. I'll explain this in the next example here shortly. But if we were to have a whole note in a single measure, we would hold it out for a total of 4 beats. Here's the metronome. 1, 2, ready, and hold, 2, 3, 4, done. We can do the same thing for the half notes. Now remember, half notes are worth 2 beats each. So if we want to fill a whole measure up, we have to play 2 half notes. For example, 1, 2, ready, and half, half. And notice how I restated the half note so that way you can hear that I sang it twice for a total of 2 beats or 2 clicks. And quarter notes, there are a total of 4 quarter notes in one measure. And here's the example. 1, 2, ready, and ta, 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 ta. And there's your 4 quarter notes with me singing along on ta. Now moving on. If you remember the basic elements crash course, here's our 4-bar music staff again. And we are going to try and play this exercise. And you'll see the beats are underneath. You'll see in first measure we have a whole note, the following measure a whole rest, next measure whole note, next measure whole rest. And keep in mind, wherever the note appears on a line or space, that's going to tell you what specific note you are supposed to be playing. So if I were a musician and looking at this, I see that that note is on the B line in the staff. So I should do the proper fingering for that B natural. Anyways, I'll go ahead and sing this example for you. 1, 2, ready, and ta, rest, 2, 3, 4, ta, and done. And remember, whenever you see those rests, it's not just telling you to be quiet, but this is coordinated silence within the music. Moving on. Now we have half notes. Remember, half notes are worth 2 beats. And you'll notice between ones and threes that beats we're either resting or we're supposed to be holding on to those notes. And here's the exercise for half notes. 1, 2, ready, and ta, 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 ta. And there's your exercise for the half notes. And again, you got to be following along. You got to make sure you hold half notes out for 2 beats each as they appear. And when the half rests come out, you have to hold them out and do silence for 2 beats until whatever's next. Next, we have an exercise of quarter notes. And here's the example. 1, 2, ready, and go. And ta, 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 rest. Ta, 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 done. And you got to make sure you're following and knowing where the beats are lining up, especially in the last 2 measures. Where on beat 1, we had a quarter note, but then on beat 2, we had a quarter rest, meaning we shouldn't have been playing there. Beat 3, we have a quarter note, and then again on beat 4, we have a quarter rest and shouldn't be playing there. And then the last measure repeats that. But that's your basic crash course to rhythm reading.